This story is for those who are not satisfied with their lives and believe that others are happier than they are. To understand this story, follow it to the end. The Raven's Lesson, the story of contentment. There once lived a raven who felt deeply dissatisfied with his life. Each day, he flew from place to place, searching for food and shelter, only to be met with scorn. People shooed him away as if he were nothing more than a nuisance. Feeling rejected and unloved, the raven began to believe that life wasn't worth living. One day, perched on a tree, tears fell from his eyes as he sobbed quietly. A wise monk, resting beneath the same tree, noticed the raven's distress. Looking up, the monk asked gently, "Why are you crying, my friend?" The raven replied, "My life is miserable. No one loves me, no one feeds me, and I am shunned by all. It seems like death would be better than this existence." The monk listened carefully, then spoke in a calm, reassuring voice. "I understand your sorrow, but happiness doesn't come from changing who we are, it comes from embracing it. Learn to find joy in what you have." The raven, too overwhelmed by his misery, couldn't grasp the monk's words and continued to weep. So the monk, with a knowing smile, said, "If you truly wish to change, tell me what you desire to be. I can grant your wish." The raven brightened at this, his heart filling with hope. "Make me a swan. They are elegant, graceful, and loved by everyone." The monk nodded, but added, "Before I grant your wish, fly to the swan and ask him if he is truly happy with his life. Return to me afterward, and I will do as you ask." The raven eagerly flew to a nearby lake where a beautiful swan glided across the water. He marveled at the swan's pristine white feathers and thought, "Surely this is the happiest creature on earth." Approaching the swan, he said, "O swan, you are so pure and admired. You must live a life of joy." The swan looked at the raven with sorrowful eyes and replied, "I may appear beautiful, but I am not happy. My white feathers are plain compared to the vibrant colors of other birds. I often wish I could be a parrot, with their striking colors." The raven, surprised by the swan's answer, flew off in search of a parrot. When he found one, the parrot's vivid feathers dazzled in the sunlight. "O parrot," the raven said, "you are so colorful, surely you are the happiest bird alive." But the parrot shook his head and said, "No, my friend. My bright feathers make me a target. People capture parrots and lock us in cages. I live in constant fear. I believe the peacock must be the happiest bird, with his majestic colors and beauty." The raven's curiosity grew even more. Determined to find happiness, he set out to meet the peacock. After a long search, he found a peacock in a zoo, where crowds of people had gathered to admire him. When the crowd dispersed, the raven approached the peacock and said, "O peacock, you are admired by all. Surely you must be the happiest of all birds." The peacock looked down sadly. "I used to believe I was happy, but the very thing that people admire, my feathers, has become my curse. They pluck them to use for decoration, and now I am caged because of my beauty. I have often thought that if I were a raven, free to fly wherever I wished, I would be truly happy." The raven was stunned. He had spent so much time wishing to be someone else, but now, even the peacock, admired by all, envied his freedom. Returning to the monk, the raven no longer carried the weight of his sorrow. "Wise one," the raven said, "I no longer wish to be a swan, a parrot, or even a peacock. I now see that every creature has its own struggles. I am happy to be a raven, free to roam the skies." The monk smiled warmly. "You have learned an important lesson, my friend. True happiness is found not in wishing to be something else, but in embracing who we are. If we spend our lives comparing ourselves to others, we will never find peace. But when we accept ourselves and appreciate what we have, we discover that we already possess everything we need." From that day forward, the raven flew with newfound joy, no longer burdened by envy or regret. He had learned the secret to happiness, to be content with who he was. Moral: happiness is not found in becoming someone else. It is found in accepting and appreciating who we already are. Constant comparison to others only brings dissatisfaction. The person who is content with what they have is the happiest person in the world. This version focuses more on the internal journey of the raven and adds depth to the lessons about comparison, envy, and self-acceptance. May this story inspire you to find happiness in your own life. Thank you for listening, and always keep smiling.